Hello, 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 and welcome. What's going on? Okay, I think we're good. I think we're good. I think we're good. Okay. Hey, everybody. How are you doing? How is everybody feeling today? Sorry, I don't know why I just did that. I don't know why I just did that. Anyway, hey guys. Oh gosh, I'm something else. I'm something else for real. Hello there. How are we doing? I hope you're all well. Hope you're doing good. I hope all is okay. All is great. All is amazing. Um, I haven't shuffled. I didn't do a pre-shuffle. I didn't pull any cards. So we're gonna do it together. All righty. Let's get into it. But as you can see by the title, this oh, let me shuffle first before you want to start coming out, please. 3 minimum. Thank you. Um, where was I? Yeah, there's this energy of somebody really knowing themselves, somebody really loving themselves. And, there's always this question of everyone talks about self love, but what does it look like? It looks like anything. It could look like anything. It could look like many different things for many different people. Everybody, is of different walks of life, different cultures, different lifestyles, different countries, different, you know, all the things that can be different. And is that makes it quite difficult to pinpoint a bunch of things that are self-love specifically because that looks differently for all of us. Um, so for me, what just came to mind is I'm seeing somebody, this person, I'm seeing someone that is Asian. So maybe you're Asian, or maybe you love Asian cuisine, maybe you love Asian culture. Yeah, there's something I'm seeing, or maybe you could be from a country in Africa. Somebody, for someone, cooking themselves a meal is self love. And that's really lovely. Okay. That's really lovely. Um, Making sure that your body is sufficiently nourished is a very wonderful step in self love. It's a wonderful step to take. Ooh, okay. Okay, okay, okay. We ready. We live. Baby, we live. Okay. So the first card that came out was the Five of Swords. I don't love that. I don't love it for us. So that is the energy that you're coming out of. Your current energy is the Judgment. Okay. Your future energy is the Devil. And your advice is the Queen of Pentacles. So I'm still, in the beginning of my journey. So we're going to do an intuitive card reading, and then we're going to look at what they say. So before that, I'm going to give this message to you guys. This was a download that I received 2-ish days ago. Yeah. And I was meant to record this then, but you know how life be. I'm just a humaning. Okay, so we've got relationship with self is deepening. This could be due to therapy, spell work, mindful practices such as walking or meditation. Um, could be prayer followed by inspired action. Those were the specific words that were written. Small lifestyle changes. For example, you could be swapping a snack that you usually have for a fruit. Um, that could be purchasing sustainable fashion instead of things that are mass produced or um, are produced in like sweatshops or are full of plastics. I'm seeing that somebody is really getting into linen, cotton, more natural fibers, which is very good for your skin. Your skin is your largest organ. For some of you, that includes improving self talk, mindfully consuming rather than over consuming. Um, I'm seeing that somebody is trying to move in the direction of a more minimalist environment in their home or in their workspace. So if you own a business, you could be encouraging a minimalist um, decor. Or if this applies to your home, you could be getting rid of a lot of things and kind of really taking stock of what things are most important to you, what things spark joy for you. If you feel called to, there is I think it's a series on YouTube, not YouTube, on Netflix. Excuse me, confirmation burp. There's a series, I believe it's called. So the lady that created this whole thing is called Marie Kondo. Con Marie Kondo, is that? Why does that not sound right? Is that her name? Con Marie, that's it. I don't know where I got Marie Kondo. Maybe some of you moving into a new condo. I don't know. Maybe someone called Marie. Um, Marie, I'm so proud of you. If this is your journey, if this is your message, I'm so proud of you. Um, so the method is called the KonMari method, and it to go about clearing your home. It's a way to go about I'm hearing unused space, mindfully using your space, not having things, cluttered or things that you never look at, never use. It's about making sure that every item in your home sparks joy for you and is there intentionally and not unintentionally. So if you feel called, feel free to give that a watch. That's something that I actually really loved watching and loved implementing it into my home. I think I need to redo it, to be honest. But enough about me. Um, what have we got here? Becoming more conscious of what you take in through your senses, and that includes knowledge. So here we know that it's very strange or interesting rather, the way that I've written it. I've put eyes, ears, touch, taste, feel, smelly. And I'm usually quite a stickler for grammar and continuity. So the fact that I've written it like this is quite interesting. Um, so I think with eyes and ears, the things that you watch, so for example, the KonMari series that I was just referring to, it's in a spirit of elevation, it's in a spirit of change, it's in a spirit of, you know, home improvement, if you will, which is the direction that, if you're here, that is the direction that you align with, making your life simpler, more aligned with a baseline of peaceful content, a frequency of peace, a frequency of being content, a frequency of, I'm hearing moving on up. I don't know if that is significant for somebody. So yeah, that includes anything that you watch, anything that is around your home. If you have some symbolism, I'm seeing like symbols that people don't align with at all or anymore in their home or in some sort of space that you frequent. Um, so removing anything that you no longer align with um, is part of that journey. Um, Obviously, next we've got ears. So the music that you listen to, sorry, just to backtrack for a moment, that also includes the kind of media that you take in, the shows that you watch, um the shows you watch, the movies that you watch, the news that you watch if you watch the news. Saw a guy online who only posts positive news. Um, if you don't already know, then I'm here to tell you that the news is not it's not placed there for high vibration, let's say. Um, the news wants you to be in a low frequency. So ensuring that you if staying up to date with politics and economics is important to you, by all means do that, but also do take in some more positive news. You know if there are, for example, readers online or spiritual leaders or people that you look up to in general, whatever part of your life they align with, ensuring that they aligned with you and who you want to be. So, for example, there was a reader who I really liked, um, but the way that he read didn't align with me. Um, he swore a lot, and just, do you know what? It's not even about swearing, because I swear it's not. I don't have an issue with somebody swearing, but I think it's the tone in which he spoke to the people who are his supporters. I just didn't align with it, and I know that people gained a lot of value from his readings, but in the end, I just wasn't one of them. Initially, I thought he was great, and um, his readings always resonated with me. Not always, but a lot of the time they resonated with me. They were quite accurate, and they were often what I needed to hear. But there are so many readers that also swear, because I'm an adult. There's nothing wrong with swearing necessarily in my book. But just relay the messages in a way that just more aligns with who I am and the way that I want to receive my messages. I very much like messages that sound like a friend and not anything outside of that, let's say. Um, so yeah, that also includes, with ears, that includes the music you listen to, it includes the advice that you listen to, and that then leads into the community that you keep. It leads into the relationships that you're in, it to the kind of career path that you're in, and who you engage with at work. It doesn't necessarily mean that if there's a mean person at work, you leave that job. It just means that don't put don't overly exert yourself to be in community with that person if you don't have to. So you do your projects with that person, you maybe exchange a little small talk, but you don't build may not want to build a deeper sense of intimacy in that relationship with that person. So maybe you don't become friends with them, but at work you're very cordial, and you can possibly have a laugh or whatever it is, or you work well together. It's about knowing where you want to put your energy and where you want to feel alive. I relationships where I can laugh with the person, where I can learn something from them, I can teach them something, where we can share ideas, where we can talk about the things that we enjoy or the things that we don't enjoy, and find kind of common ground. And I have these sorts of conversations with people that I've known for many, many, many years. That was too many manys. But those are the kind of relationships that I like and that I enjoy. I don't really in relationships where people constantly take the piss out of me, or where I'm the butt of the joke all the time. I enjoy relationships full of balance, and there is absolutely nothing wrong with laughing at yourself or laughing at a loved one, or with, rather, with a loved one. And I think it's important for us to know the difference between laughing at somebody and laughing with them. I don't know why I just said that, but someone needs to hear it. I come from a family of people who love to laugh, are always, bantering each other. But there's definitely a line between banter and something else. And that is where I draw it. When it passes banter, that's where I draw it. Okay, that's where it's got to be drawn. So maybe someone needs to hear that. We're moving on to touch. So again, with the fashion, that includes for people who have sensory challenges, like myself, that means being intentional with the clothing that you keep. For some, there's something about clothes with somebody, maybe somebody starting a fashion line or a fashion business or something. Maybe someone exploring a bit more with their fashion. Blue is significant for somebody. So maybe you are focused on your, what chakra is that? The throat chakra. Maybe speak up and say, hey, that's enough. Or whatever else it is that you feel like you may need to say. Moving on, sorry, touch. That also includes your bed sheets. I feel the need to say that. Sheets, bed sheets, you use them every day if you sleep in a bed every day. I personally sleep in a bed 99% of the time. I don't all the time that I've not slept in a bed. Maybe I've slept on the sofa or on the floor or wherever. Yeah, bed sheets are very important. Making sure that you purchase sheets that, or shall I say, keep sheets that are high in quality and that are made of fibers that encourage healthy, I don't know why I want to say the word prosperous. Maybe some of you need prosperous sleep. I've never heard of that phrase before, but maybe it resonates with somebody. um, yeah, your sleep is very important for all of us. And it's the way that let's not get into all of that. Stay focused. I'm getting carried away. Moving on to taste. We all know that, you are what you eat. If you eat healthily, you are more likely to be healthy in general. Your well-being, it impacts your well-being when you eat well. Um, Eating well doesn't need to mean eating without flavor. Let's just put it out there. There's often a misconception that if you eat more healthily or if you have a certain diet, then your food always tastes disgusting. Is lacking in some way. Um, if you can't cook, just say that. If you can't cook, just say that. Okay. Meat is not a regular part of my diet, and I eat very flavorsome, wonderful foods. So much so that people often don't know that what I give them to eat doesn't contain meat. Um, if you still eat meat, make sure that you're eating high quality cuts, um, and that you are fully enjoying it. If you're going to do anything, you've got to enjoy it. There's something to be said for those who, sometimes on our journey, we're doing something and maybe you're thinking about not eating meat anymore. And every time you eat meat, you feel guilty. Just don't eat it. Or maybe just only eat it when you feel like you really want to, when it really feels like something that you desire. There's absolutely nothing wrong with doing the things that you want to do as long as they make you happy and are not harming anybody else. Yeah, that's that on that. Next up, we have feel. Now, feelings. So we have touch here. Something is telling me that I missed one. No, I didn't. So we have feel here. And with feel, I was seeing a human body. I'm seeing a human anatomy. I'm seeing a scientific sketch of the human anatomy, and I'm seeing, excuse me, confirmation. I'm seeing the chakras, the energy centers within the body, and they each are lighting up one at a time, starting from the root to the crown. Um, Someone needs to pay attention to what their body is telling them. Um, so, from personal experience, I know how stress can impact the body, and sometimes stress is just there. There's nothing we can do about the things. But one thing that I would definitely say is that if you can't change a situation, it doesn't warrant your stress. And if you're stressed anyway, there's nothing you can do to change it, Lola. There's nothing you can do to change it, and it's stressing you out anyway. Find a way to transmute those feelings, those emotions. Find a way to release, whether that be sweating, whether that be crying, whether that be writing, singing. Get it out. Get it outside of you. Journal. I don't know. You could write poetry. You could go for a run. You could talk to somebody about it. And you don't have to do one of these things. You can do many of these things all together, or you can do none of these things and just meditate. When I'm feeling stressed out, meditation is really the only thing that I need. Meditation and prayer. That's a lie. Meditation, prayer, and music. Okay. Um, are the things that I use to mute those feelings. Um, we're only human. I don't like that phrase. Human beings, and human beings feel things. But the next step is to understand what you would like to do with those feelings. What do they mean to you? Are there changes that you would like to make? Are there things that these feelings have allowed you to notice? Um, I also noticed that stress really impacts my menstruation. So when I'm really stressed out during the month, when that time comes, it's almost unbearable. Um, I also noticed with my head, if I'm really stressed out, I'll begin to get headaches and have other unpleasant symptoms, and feelings, back to this word feel, that arise in my body. So there's something to be said for feeling. Pay attention to your body, pay attention to what it's trying to tell you. Um, and lastly, we have smelly. I don't know why I put smelly. I don't know why I didn't put smell. I don't know why I didn't put nose. I could have put nostril on there. There's many a thing that I could have put on there. Um, but yes, smelly. So maybe someone needs to look into a hygiene routine. This may be TMI, but who gives a heck? Growing up, when I first started puberty, my the stench that I carried, that I didn't even know that I carried, um, was pungent. Okay, teenagers usually are quite pungent. So I had to learn and really understand my body and understand what I needed to be comfortable for myself, first of all, and not to offend anybody's noses, second of all. Um, when it also comes to being smelly, as I've written, for whatever reason, um, I'm seeing roses. So maybe somebody needs to put some rose petals in their bath, make sure that you sieve them out when you're done so they don't block up the drains, if that is something that applies to you. Um, I'm seeing somebody taking a spiritual bath. So maybe in your spiritual bath, you want to put some essential oils in there, or maybe you want to put some kind of light a candle while you're taking your spiritual bath. Yeah, I keep seeing rose petals and flowers. So someone, maybe you should buy somebody some flowers, or maybe someone's gonna buy you flowers. Um, Maybe you should visit a garden. Maybe um, there's actually in London there's a flower market that I went to with a friend, and it was such a wonderful, fun experience. And I really enjoyed myself, and I enjoyed being around nature. For some of you, you may need to go to the park or to wherever there's a big tree. I'm seeing a really big tree. Maybe you have a back garden, or in your local park, or in your local forest area, or maybe it could just be outside somewhere. Maybe just really notice the first tree that you come across, and, you know, spend a moment with it if that calls out to you, if that feels like something that you would like to do. Um, and here I've got including knowledge. So again, it speaks to what information are you taking in with all of your senses? Um, what are you allowing to lead you? Are you taking note of the instructions and knowledge that are given to you by the Most High God, Goddess? We're not going to keep doing this list. Whoever you resonate with, are you taking note of the knowledge that they are bestowing upon you through your senses? Um, I feel like I'm speaking to somebody who is becoming more aware of their gifts. So your body and your senses are going to be incredibly important for you on this journey, and trusting your intuition is going to be incredibly important for you on this journey. Some people say that your intuition is the second voice that you hear. So the first voice is your ego, and the second voice is your intuition. I'm not 100% sure. I can't say yes completely. Just because for me, the first verse, maybe someone's writing a song. Um, that was interesting. What was I even saying? Wow, it's completely gone. Oh, sorry. The first voice is what I had meant to say originally, is usually the one that I need to listen to. The voice that I hear throughout the day is my intuition, is the voice that I attribute to being connected to the Most High God, Goddess. Um, that is the voice that, when given instruction from that voice, is the voice that I listen to. My voice, my ego's voice, my human's voice, shall we say, is the second voice that I hear. So maybe pay attention to your self-talk, the voices in your head, and I don't mean that to sound like scary. But if you believe you hear the voice of God, Goddess, or you believe that you speak to the higher power, then that could be part of your journey. For some people, they see images, or they there's lots of different things people experience. They all start with clair. So there's clairvoyant, claircognizant, clair this, clair that. Lots of clairs. Okay. So if that resonated for you, feel free to drop a comment. I would love to hear from you. Now the tarot. So we're going to do an intuitive reading first, and then we're going to read what the cards say. So initially, from this Five of Swords, I got the energy of smugness after an argument. So I'm seeing here we've got relationships in disarray. Five for me, when I hear five, I think of changes. So maybe a relationship is changing, maybe your relationship is changing, maybe your job is changing in some way. I'm seeing that somebody is they've ruined this thing, and they're kind of given this don't care attitude, the smugness. So you could have ended a relationship, or maybe somebody else is ending a relationship. Oh, sorry, I don't know why I just did that. I really don't like when there's three people involved in a relationship unless everybody has agreed upon that prior. Um, this is giving going behind somebody's back. There's some kind of conflict going on here. Something that all three parties didn't agree to this initially. It's almost like somebody was handed a false contract, a contract that didn't have all of the information or that wasn't explained accurately and honestly. It's almost as if somebody has hidden um, feelings or intentions or information intentionally and have kind of they felt like I'm hearing justified, I'm hearing satisfied with themselves over doing this. That's for some of you. For others of you, um, you've stood your ground and you've not allowed people to fuck with you. You've not allowed people to manipulate you. Um, you feel like you've won the situation. You're happy with the way that things have gone. It was probably quite difficult to manage and to balance, to remain balanced in the situation, but you've come out the other side and sad about the outcome. It feels like whatever's meant to be will be, and you're kind of happy that you didn't let people step all over your boundaries, is what I'm getting from that card. So this card says conflict, disagreements, competition, defeat, winning at all costs, sneakiness, bullies, theft, abusive relationships. So any of those could apply to you. I wasn't in the energy of an abusive relationship. Yeah, sneakiness, definitely going one's back, not giving them the information or not allowing them to make a decision for themselves, kind of feeling as though almost like infantilizing them and making decisions for them and deciding that they're not strong enough, sure enough, able, capable enough to make this decision for themselves, which can lead to conflicts and disagreements. For some of you as well, you were up for a promotion and you got it. By what means? I don't know. Let's see. So that was the past energy. So the present energy we have is judgment. And from this card, let's see. This card is giving celebration. This card is giving me the energy of openness, of freedom, of celebration. It's giving me the energy of pride and gladness. It's almost like finally kind of thing. These people are coming out of these vessels. It's almost like they're being what's the word I'm looking for? It's giving me the energy of somebody who thought it was over, but the fat lady didn't sing yet. But it's not over. It's also reminding me of plants. It's reminding me of, again, this idea of being planted and not buried. It's giving me the energy of someone who has risen above their trials and tribulations, of someone who has overcome something of some sort. And your guides, your ancestors, God, Goddess, your higher self, and the rest of your spirit team are celebrating you. They are cheering you on. Some of you could have had somebody who's passed away recently. I'm sorry for your loss. And this person is cheering you on. This person is so proud of you and is loving the growth, is loving your I'm loving how you're coping. You're doing so well. I'm hearing. I'm hearing I'm proud of you, and you'll never be alone. That's so lovely. So somebody who has transitioned wants you to be that you'll never be alone. They're always going to be with you. They're always there to support you. If you need to talk, they will be able to listen and kind of be like a silent partner. It's given the energy of a silent. I'm hearing silent supporter. During a tennis match, it's frowned upon. I don't. This is so random. During a match, it's frowned upon to, cheer while the players are hitting, and you kind of have to be quiet so that they can play their game to the best of their ability. And it's being you went back and forth with something, and boom, celebration time. Well done. You got a point. You overcame. You won. You completed something. Maybe for some of you, you've just laid someone to rest, and they are with the rest of your spirit team, and they've joined the party. I'm hearing they've joined the party. They have joined the group of people, the team who are cheering you on. They are trying to help you. How are they trying to help you? They're trying to help you to see the light at the end of the tunnel. They're trying to shout a message to you that it's not over. They're trying to shout a message to you that things are going to be okay. Things are going to be okay. It's not the end. There is no end. When a child is in with any other human, you would think that that would be the end of their life. If a human was to be underwater for 9 months, you'd say, okay, well, that's done for. Whereas no, it's just the beginning of something new. There's a transition to be made from within, coming from within the womb to now being outside of the womb. So maybe for some of you, your mother may have passed away. There's this idea of being nurtured and loved and taken care of. Or maybe it was a person who had a nurturing, soft and gentle spirit. Somebody who you were able to count on, somebody who was a big support to you. And I can tell this person really, truly, deeply loves you. And the relationship that you shared, for some of you, it wasn't always perfect. You could have had your ups and downs, but through all of that, the love remained. And honestly, it's just so wonderful to channel this message for you. I'm so grateful to be able to do that for you. And, I'm just getting that this person really needs you to know that they're not gone. They're with you. all you have to do is call that person's name. I'm hearing, if you need me, call me, no matter where you are, no matter how far. Don't worry, baby. Somebody wants to meet your needs. Somebody wants to support you from beyond, from the other realm. They're saying, I love you and you got this. You got this. That is so wonderful. So this card says judgment, rebirth, inner calling, a new phase, absolution, reckoning, awakening, redemption, forgiveness, and mercy. Okay. Yeah, I definitely get that feeling of entering a new phase. For some of you, you're awakening to your abilities. I'm hearing to your abilities, to your strength. You are awakening to yourself, to the Most High, to your, I'm hearing change of spiritual beliefs. So maybe for some of you, you can be going back to church, or some of you are leaving the church, or any other organized religion that you may be part of. If you are thinking about going into church, what's coming to mind is everybody, we're all children of God. Nobody is more or less a child of God than anybody. And one thing that I always heard growing up about church is this idea of come as you are. So don't let anybody tell you, who you have to be for God to love you. God loves you regardless. Leaving organized religion, welcome. I'm also part of that group of people who had left organized religion. And for me, on my journey, it was one of the best decisions I was able to make for myself and for my life, because anyway, it doesn't matter why. Full stop. That's the end. But whatever journey you're on, just know that I support you, and I hope that you do what is best for you, and that you live in alignment with what feels right to you, and that what you're taking in through your senses feels true for you and feels aligned for you, feels, I said true already, didn't I? Yeah. Okay. So that is your current energy. And lastly, we have your future energy, which is the devil card. Now, when obviously people hear the devil, especially coming out of organized religion, specifically for myself, Christianity, are taught, or there's an understanding that the devil is a bad thing, is negative, has negative connotations, widespread negative connotations with the word devil. But for me, the devil card speaks to cycles ending. It speaks to some kind of change. It speaks to different perspectives, I want to say. In this card, I'm getting the energy of somebody who feels bound, either in a relationship or by a circumstance. And there's some kind of misconception. What is the misconception, though? Let's pull another card. What's the misconception in this relationship or this circumstance? What is the misconception in this relationship or circumstance? What is the misconception in this relationship or circumstance? Okay. The misconception is that either that things have changed or that they are incapable of change. Sorry, I didn't even say the card. That's the Six of Swords. So for somebody thinks that you won't leave. And for some of you, it could be the same group of people actually. I'm getting that somebody made a promise and didn't stick to it. And they feel as though there won't be any repercussions from either breaking this promise or misrepresenting the situation. I'm also getting is that somebody could have promised to, for example, say, babe, I'm gonna walk the dog 3 times a week so that you don't have to do it every day. And this person didn't walk the dog 3 times a week. And you may have only really needed them to do it twice a week and they didn't even do that. So now there's this energy of moving away from something. Maybe you've just stopped speaking and you're just waiting for someone. You're waiting until you go to therapy. I'm hearing you're waiting to state your point. I'm hearing you're waiting to come to common ground in a neutral space for some of you. Some of you are just done talking. I keep getting that you're just done talking. You're not going to keep asking or over explaining. So with the Six of Swords, the Devil and the Six of Swords, I'm definitely getting somebody walking away from some kind of toxic relationship. Sorry, I didn't even say what the Devil card says. It says shadow self, attachment, addiction, restriction, sexuality, temptation, seduction, destructive behavior, materialism, codependency, and toxicity. Yeah. So you guys are moving away from this energy in the future. So right now, you can have for some of you, I'm hearing a new lease on life. A new lease on life, I'm hearing. You could be experiencing some changes, whether that be internally or externally. Something inside of you is like I said before, is calling out. So maybe that person, that loved one who passed away, if that resonates with you, is kind of encouraging you to see your worth, is celebrating you and lifting you up and encouraging you to be your best self and to place yourself in environments that reflect the person that you are or are working towards being. The kind of energy that resonates with you in this new chapter. With grief comes a lot of changes. Not with grief. With transitions, a lot of changes come. So when somebody transitions, there's a saying in my culture, as one gone, the next one born, which essentially means that as somebody transitions, there's a baby coming somewhere in the family. I've also in my personal life I've experienced that definitely. Quite a few loved ones actually, when they've experienced when somebody close to them transitions, either that person or somebody very close to them falls pregnant. And also, I forgot the point I was making before, but clearly I wasn't meant to make it. But yeah, with this energy of the Devil and the Six of Swords, well, the judgment followed by the devil and the Six of Swords. Experiencing this loss has kind of prompted you unintentionally, and you may not even realize it may have been an unconscious prompt, to this realization that situations that you're in just aren't for you anymore. So yes, with transitions come changes. So that change could be, you realize actually this isn't a job that you want to stay in. So maybe you're looking, deciding what career choices you want to make, career changes you might want to make. You might want to make a total 180 and do something completely different to what you're doing right now. You could also just want to change companies or stay in the same lane, I'm hearing. Yeah, there's just a lot of changes happening, and I'm getting really positive energy from this. I'm getting that you're making the best choices for yourself, and if you have children, for yourself and your child or your children. And this journey will be good for you. If you are in a relationship, I know that those things can always be very difficult, for a lot of people, especially when there's children involved. But there's something to be said for grown adults who say that they would have rather their parents divorce than live in a miserable home where no one's, where communication is minimal, or people are arguing, or their parents are just not in a healthy, loving marriage or relationship. That message is for someone or some of you. And as well, the way that the cards are faced in the Six of Swords, people are, they have their backs to the devil. This is also reminding me of something that I've seen a lot, where people say that there's an angry man in every household, and if there's no angry man in your household, you are the angry man. That is the energy that I'm getting. I don't necessarily agree with that, but that is what came to mind when looking at these cards. You're onto bigger and better things. I'm hearing and back and better. Want you bad as ever. Is that Bryson Tiller? I think it's Bryson Tiller. I think that song is called Don't. So if you feel called to, feel free to give that song a listen. Yeah, somebody's like complacent almost. It's like, I'm hearing baby, it's whatever. Like, there's no accountability for somebody. Someone's refusing to acknowledge that there's any possible improvement that they could make. This is also giving me the energy of something that I saw on Netflix recently called The Polygamist. So maybe somebody wanted to have their cake and eat it too, and thought that because there's an idea that someone has of you, that you, I'm hearing I can't live if living is without you. So maybe somebody thought that you couldn't live without them, that it's given this energy of you're nothing without me kind of thing. That really don't like that energy, to be honest with you. But yeah, you're moving out of that, whether that's career, whether that's family, whether that's a romantic relationship, whatever aspect of your life that is a part of. For some of you, it is a business as well. Maybe there was somebody, an investor I'm getting, or somebody who thought that they were bigger than the program. And I'm hearing, even if it means that you leave with nothing, you'll leave if you feel like that's the right choice to make. Um, I'm also hearing I don't know if it's the actual song or if it's just an interlude by Dochi, called God, that basically speaks to um the infinity that is. I just saw 5555 on the timer. Big changes are coming. Um Dochi, this song or interlude called God, and it speaks to the infinity that is God. So if we're all connected to God, and God is infinite, and energy is infinite, and ideas are infinite, creativity is infinite, that means that infinity is also, it also resides within us. So if, for example, I'm getting that some of you, your intellectual property, someone's trying to take your intellectual property, um, and if you are not able to come out of this situation victorious, you will be able to start anew, are the exact words that I'm channeling for you, which is absolutely amazing. So I'll give you an example. If somebody, for example, wrote a song and somebody, steals that song from them, it's not to say that you shouldn't fight for your intellectual property. It's just to say that I'm hearing the journey is bigger than the fight. So that's for somebody. But what I was going to say was that if somebody, for example, steals that song, you can create 1,000 more songs, better songs that would resonate with bigger audiences, that are going to touch more people's hearts, that are going to, you know, be bigger than this one song ever was, regardless of how successful it seems this person or this entity is that has seemingly taken this very precious thing from you. That is nothing compared to where you're going. You're going towards the Queen of Pentacles. Um the Queen of Pentacles is, and this is your advice card, she is surrounded by luscious rose bushes, vines. She is grounded. She is powerful yet soft. I'm hearing water. I'm hearing something something enough to cleanse you, deep enough to drown you. That's for somebody. Soft enough to cleanse you, deep enough to drown you. I'm not sure. Something along those lines. That's for somebody. I'm hearing stay who you are, not be who you are, stay who you are. So don't let the situation change you. Don't allow somebody else's actions to determine who you're going to be going forward, not what you're going to do, because every action has an equal and opposite reaction. But don't let somebody else's behavior or attitude determine the person that you're going to be going forward. So if this person, for example, if you're feeling heartbroken, or if somebody's really hurt you, don't allow that to color the rest of your life or determine how your potential romance in the future are going to turn out. Just because this one thing didn't work doesn't mean that nothing else in the world is ever going to work ever again. And that also goes back to this idea that if somebody, you know, let's just say wrongs you in some way, it doesn't mean to say that you're never going to be successful after the fact. It just means that you have something to learn from. There's either lessons or blessings, and some things are both. And I'm getting that situation is both. And in terms of those of you who are grieving or who have lost, not lost, who have loved ones who have transitioned, um, this I keep hearing as one guy, the next one born. So maybe some of you are falling pregnant. Maybe some of you are going to be welcoming some kind of new change or new eruption of new energy, I'm hearing, in your life. Remain who you are. Remain this nurturing, I'm hearing motherly, so some of you definitely have children, person. Don't allow the hardships of life change your heart, I'm hearing. So the Queen of Pentacles says nurturing, practical, providing financially, a working parent. Oh my gosh, look at that. Would you look at that? Some of you are just really getting in your bag and really focusing on those pentacles. You're focusing on your household, making sure that you provide. If you come from a situation where somebody else was providing, it is filling you with, allow it to fill you with joy and pride that you're able to provide for your household, is what I'm hearing. It can be extremely difficult to be a working parent, but there's millions, and have been millions, if not billions or trillions, of parents who have also worked. So don't be discouraged. Don't be discouraged. And when you do feel discouraged, look at your child or children. Look at, so I'm hearing for some of you, you need to write down the things that you're accomplishing. So firstly, you can start with, for those who it resonates, who resonate with this message, the first thing you could write down is you left that relationship, you left that environment, you've left that situation, you've left that job, that toxic circumstance, you've left that contract, you've completed that task. And write that down and make sure that you can see that. And whenever you're feeling down, this is actually something that I do. I've got a jar of things that I'm grateful for. And anytime I'm feeling a bit down, I'll just try and literally count my blessings, and I'll write down things that I've done that I'm proud of. I'll write down things that I'm grateful for. I'll write down, answered prayers. I'll write down manifestations that came into fruition. Yeah, some of you just need to write it down so that when it gets really difficult and, in those trying times, I'm hearing, in the trying times, you can literally just, rather than thinking about it and trying in the moment to remember all the things to be grateful for and to be thankful for, you just go into your jar or your cupboard or your notebook or whatever the heck, and you pick out one thing or 10 things, however many suits you, and you read it and you remember that feeling. You allow yourself to reminisce on something positive. You allow yourself to remember that things are not always going to be how they are if they're difficult in that moment. Things do get easier. It also definitely helps if you have a village. If you don't have a village, definitely look about services in your area that provide help and support if those are available. If they are not available, there's always an online community. Regardless of whatever you're going through, there is always an online community. And if you aren't able to access the internet frequently, then turn inwards to whatever it is, whoever it is that you believe in. And if you don't believe in something other than yourself, that is absolutely fine as well. Talk to your higher self, encourage your child self, allow yourself to be guided by the person that you're becoming and the person that you were. And look at how far you've come. I feel like we often forget, it's very easy to forget how far we've come and where we've come from and the things that we've overcome to be in the space that we're in currently, presently, in this very moment. So put yourself on the back, big yourself up, and don't forget to, give yourself grace, compassion, empathy, patience, anything that you would give to others, give it to yourself first and foremost, so that when you give it to others, it's enriched. It's I'm hearing full of vitamins. I don't even say it like that. So maybe some of you are American, and for some of you, I'm hearing the word Vitamix. So maybe there's something to be said for the way that you ingest your nutrition, focusing on, I'm hearing, healing your body. When people hear about the word, when people hear the word healing, then think about people who are sick, but you don't need to be sick to maintain your health. That just is a part of life. Maintaining your health is a part of life. And if you are struggling with any health issues, definitely reach out to Western and also traditional medicinal healers. Two things can be true at one time. And in terms of healing, there are 1,000 ways to skin a cat, as they say. I really hate that phrase, but it keeps popping into my mind. There's often not only one thing that's going to make you well or improve your health. For many illnesses, there's more than one way to either speed up your recovery or to aid your recovery. Um, One thing I always preach is people drinking water and remaining hydrated in whatever way you can, and eating vitamin rich foods. Um, that is the message. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope it was helpful. I hope that you received it with love. And I just want to thank you for being here and sharing your energy with me. And yeah, I hope you receive the message well. So if you are just rising or going about your day, I hope you have an amazing one. I hope you count your blessings. I hope you remember how blessed you are. I hope you remember that you are loved. I hope you remember that you are on a journey just like anybody else. And sometimes tough shit happens. Tough cookies are baked sometimes. And that's okay, because tough times never last. Tough people do. And things just work out for you. So, things are never going to stay difficult. It's just growing pains, it's, lessons to be learned. And most importantly, blessings to be counted. But make sure you're learning those lessons, because you don't want to repeat them. And, as somebody from a Caribbean house, there's a phrase that we say, if you don't hear, you must feel. So don't let the Most High have to teach you a lesson in the hardest way possible. Try to hear the first time. Sometimes you need to learn the hard lesson. Like, sometimes I be doing shit for the plot. Sometimes I be making decisions that I'm like, why are you doing that? Like, what? Now, why you had to do that? But yeah, just try to remain grateful, practice gratitude, grounding, eat as best you can, look after your body, because you only get one in this life. And I shall speak to you guys very soon. And if you are going to sleep sometime soon, sweet dreams, my lovelies, and I'll speak to you again soon.